All right, next example is a U-try. So if you could, go ahead and pause the video at this time and try this one on your own. All right, let's go ahead and do this one together. Remember, the very first step is you need to determine which formula to use. So you got, first of all, is to read the question, write the equation of a line that passes through 3, 2, and has a slope of 2/3. Now, as you're reading this, the first thing that you have is you do have slope, 2/3. The next thing you have is you have a point, 3, 2. And since you have slope and you have a point, you're going to use the formula, the point slope formula. So y minus y sub 1 equals m parenthesis x minus x sub 1. Okay? Now remember, all we do is we substitute in the y sub 1 and the x sub 1 for the point. This was your x coordinate, 2 is your y coordinate, and m is your slope. So if we plug our values in, y minus y is 2. And remember, it's the opposite sign, so since this is a positive 2, we keep the minus 2. Slope is 2/3. X minus, and the x sub 1 turns. So since this is a positive, we're going to keep this a negative. Okay? And then all we do is we're going to make it y equals. So we're going to do y minus 2 equals 2/3 x minus, and then 2/3. The 3's will cancel, and I get 2. So add 2 to both sides. These cancel out, so I get y equal 2/3 x. Negative 2 plus 2 also cancel, so I get 0. And you do not have to write the 0. Okay? All right. Next problem. Now, occasionally when you're doing these, the problem says write the equation of a line that passes through negative 2, negative 1, and 3, 4. Well, we have a point, but we don't have any slope. So the very first thing, in either formula, one of the things you have to have is slope. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to find slope. And remember, to find the slope, you take the second y minus the first one all over the second x minus the first one. Changes in x over the changes in y. So I'm going to take 4 minus negative 1 all over 3 minus negative 2. So change my signs, I get 5. Change these signs, and I get 5. So my slope ends up being 1. Now I have a slope and I have a point. So the correct formula then again, it goes back to my point slope formula. Okay? Now, as you notice, we do have 2 points. It doesn't matter which point you use, but you do need to select it. So let's go ahead and select the first one. So I have y minus y sub 1. Now remember, since this is a negative 1, I have to do the opposite. So we're going to do plus 1 equals, my slope is 1, parenthesis, x, and I'm going to do x sub 1, which is negative 2, but remember, has to be the opposite. So plus 2. So if I just distribute, 1 times x gives me x, 1 times 2 gives me 2, and then I can just subtract the 1 and make it y equals. Y equals x plus 1. Okay? All right, the next one is write the equation of a line that passes through 0, 2, and negative 5, 0. So go ahead and pause the video at this time, and let's do a U-try on this one. When you're finished, go ahead and restart the video and verify your answer. All right, your final answer on this one should have been y equals 2/5 x plus 2. It doesn't matter which point that you plug in, because your answer should have ended up the same as the bottom answer at the bottom. So